Now guys, we're going to be looking at the lowest common multiple, or you can call it the least common multiple. So as the name insists guys, it's just finding the lowest common multiple. So out of all the multiples of different numbers, we just spot the lowest one. That's all you need to do. So if you have a look over here, I've just listed down the multiples of 4 and the multiples of 6. Now, let's just spot the common multiples. I know that 12 is common, 24 is common, 36 is common, and there's probably heaps and heaps of infinite number of common multiples. But we're only interested in the lowest, the least common multiple, which is obviously 12. So therefore the lowest common multiple is 12, just the lowest out of the common ones. That's all you need to know. So question 1, find the first 8 multiples of 9. Let's do that first by listing out the multiples, which you guys should be really good at. So 9 times 1, 9 times 2, 9 times 3, 9 times 4, times 5, times 6, times 7, times 8, and that's all we need, just the first 8 multiples of 9. Now B, find the first 6 multiples of 12. So 12 times 1, 12 times 2, times 3, times 4, times 5, times 6. So you just do that until 6. So that's the first 6 multiples of 12. Now, hence find the lowest common multiple of 9 and 12. Now you can see that 36 is common, isn't it? And you can see that 72 is also common. But guys, we're only interested in the lowest common. So the lowest one out of those common ones is 36. So that's the lowest common multiple, which sometimes called the LCM. Question 2. Find the lowest common multiple of 6 and 9. Now, one thing that you might be a bit concerned with is, do we have to actually just list it all out and spot it out? What if I miss one? Or it gets a bit tedious if we have to list down all the multiples, don't we? Especially if the numbers get quite large. If I ask you to find the lowest common multiple of like 16 and 20, it gets quite tedious, doesn't it? So I'll show you a little trick to find the lowest common multiple in a very, very easy way. Okay, what you do is I just put 6 and 9 just next to each other, and I just distinguish it by the bar. So I just put this little bar underneath it. Now, can you guys tell me a common factor between 6 and 9? Well, the common factor of 6 and 9 must just be 3, right? So what we do is so you write the common factor on the left there. So now what you do is you do 6 divided by 3, which is 2, and then 9 divided by 3, which is 3. Now guys, 2 and 3 are just prime numbers. There's prime factors, but 2 and 3, they don't have any common factor at all now. They're not divisible by any common factors. So that's when we stop and we just multiply the outer numbers together. So 3, which is there, times 2, times 3. You multiply it all and get 18. So 18 is the lowest common multiple. And you can check this by listing it out and spotting it, but you should get the exact same answer. So I would suggest you trying to utilize this method. It's very, very handy and accurate, isn't it? So that's the method. Let's try one more. Okay, lowest common multiple of 24 and 72. Now these are quite large numbers, right? It's going to be annoying if we have to write the multiples of 24 several times and 72 several times. It's going to be quite annoying. So what I'm going to be doing is doing the same method. I'm going to put 24 and 72 next to each other with that little bar. Now guys, tell me what the common factor of 24 and 72. It can be anything. It could be 2, it could be 3, whatever's common. Just put it down. It can be anything. I'll just use 3 because that's an easy one. But you can also use 2 because 2 is also common. Now, we'll do the same thing. 24 divided by 3 is 8 and 72 divided by 3 is 24. Now guys, 8 and 24, we still have something that can be divisible for both. What's the common factor of 8 and 24? And again, it can be anything that's a factor. So this time I'll use 2. Okay, so again, put the bar underneath, and I know that 2 is common. I mean, 4 is also common, but I want you to use the common factor one, yeah? Sorry, the lowest one. So 2, 8 divided by 2 is 4, 24 divided by 2 is 12. Make sense, guys? So it can be any factor that's divisible for both. And again, 4 and 12. What's divisible for 4 and 12? Again, 2. 2 is common, isn't it? So again, 4 divided by 2 is 2. 12 divided by 2 is 6. And can we go further, guys? I think we can, because 2 and 6, we know that 2 is a common factor. So 2 divided by 2 is 1, 6 divided by 2 is 3. And I know that we can't go any further. Okay, 1 and 3, there's nothing divisible for both. So again, we concentrate on the outermost numbers, so all these numbers on the outer edges, so we do multiply all of them together. So 3 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 1 times 3, just multiply all together and get 72. 72 is the lowest common multiple. Okay guys, please try to utilize that method when you're finding the LCM because it's very, very handy and accurate. So that was the end of this part.